Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa, an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for the 2024 season, and this is Believe in Colts.
Welcome back to another edition of Believe in Colts. I'm Lawrence Owen, and today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to go live here on YouTube to give an opportunity to those of you who watch and listen to the show to actually come in and throw some comments in and maybe get some, some answers or reactions from me as we go on through the show. So just let you know, appreciate each and every one of you that do watch this show. Today, we've got a ton to go over as the Indianapolis Colts head to Seattle to face the Seahawks. Now, a few years ago, this wouldn't have been a big deal, but quite frankly, the Seattle Seahawks this year are a very, very good team. And when I say a good team, I mean like their defense is stupid good, okay? Like ridiculously stupid good. They're top 5 in passer rating allowed defense and top 5 in rushing yards allowed defense. All right. That is yards per carry allowed. That's just crazy numbers defensively, not to mention offensively. We're looking at guys that are leading the NFL in their respective positions, right? That's exactly what this team is doing. If you want to look at, say, the team in and of itself. Look, Sam Darnold's been a good quarterback ever since he's left, right, New York. Absolutely been a solid quarterback. I can't believe that he's still stuck. He was stuck there so long, and that the Vikings didn't, re-sign him. But this year, he leads the NFL in yards per attempt and yards per catch. 8.9 yards per. That's 9 yards every time he steps back to throw the football. It's 9 yards. What? Every time a receiver catches the football, it's 13.1 yards. That's average. That's average. A stupid good. Stupid good. Now, he's got 22 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. It's a 3.1% interception ratio. That's not bad. It's not great. You always want to see it around 2 or lower, but still 2-1 touchdown interception. A lot of people would look at that and go, But, I mean, the dude's got a passer rating of a 103.8. Holy cow. That is very, very, very good. And then not to mention the fact that they have the best wide receiver in football this year. Okay. Remember, the Colts, we'll get back to that, but JSN obviously leads the NFL in yards total, 1428, and yards per game, 109.8, yards per target, 11.8, and yards every time he touches the football from scrimmage, okay, because he has ran the football as well, 15.3 yards. That's stupid, okay? That's unrealistically good. But and this is a defense that's not going to have DeForest Buckner. They're not going to have Sauce Gardner. They're not going to have, Charvarius Ward. A bunch. Look, first off, let's go ahead and get into the injury report. Shout out to those of you who are already in here, man, talking. Look, for the Colts, DeForest Buckner still out. He did have a limited practice, right, all week, but he is out for this game. Sauce Gardner still dealing with his calf injury. He's not practiced at all this week. He's out. Anthony Gould hasn't practiced this week. He's got that foot injury from last week. He's out. Braden Smith walked out of that game with a concussion. Not walked out, but ended up with a concussion late in the game. Also has a neck injury. He's out. Ow. That hurts the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm not, we'll get into deeper about that too, all right, in a little bit. Guys that are questionable. There is Tyquan Lewis is questionable. He was out last week, but this week with his ankle injury, there's a possibility he could return. That would be a huge boost to this defensive line because when Tyquan Lewis is on the field, he is a very, very good player. Now, that's your out and your questionables for the Colts. When you're looking at Seattle, they don't have a lot of out. They got 2 outs, okay? Elijah Arroyo All right, the tight end, he's out with a knee. And then they have Derek Young, the wide receiver. He's got a quadricep. He's had a full practice, but he is out. Some questionables. Jalen Sundell, the center, he's questionable to play. The tight end, Eric Saubert, he's got a calf injury. He's questionable to play. And then Riley Mills, the defensive end, has a knee. He's had some full practices, but he's also questionable to play. Again, you saw some guys on here, a lot of people for Seattle this late in the season, a lot of resting guys. You see guys on the injury report, but it's just rest days. Guys like JSN, right? Guys like Leonard Williams, guys like Nwosu, DeMarcus Lawrence, right? These guys, Ernest Jones, you want to give them a break. So they got some rest. The Colts didn't get rest. There was no rest. So just remember that. Guys out there, when it came to the fact that, Phillip Rivers is now on the Colts, you got to be able to do something. Look, that's a little worrisome. A lot of people want to know why Phillip Rivers is on this team playing. Looks like he probably start. I mean, the way he's practiced, a lot of video out there about him practicing, he's probably going to end up starting. Okay. It's a little worrisome considering how the center and the right guard have been playing all year, plus the fact that the right tackle, Braden Smith, is out, and we got our backup out there. That just does not look good. Basically, the whole right side of the offensive line is not looking good. But the only thing great about Phillip Rivers is everything up here is still fine. Everything up here is still fine. He's still throwing the football fine from what it looks like. And, it looks like he can still read defenses and stuff. That's something that Phillip Rivers was always very, very good at. You go talk to some of the guys that were on the team back when he was playing back in 2020, like, Jonathan Taylor or Michael Pittman Jr. or someone like that. And they'll tell you that he's changing plays constantly, adjusting for blitzes and open schemes, things of that nature. He's going to do that. And you can expect it this Sunday against Seattle. And you're probably going to expect it a lot considering, look, Seattle's one of the best pass rush teams in football. They have one top 5 at pressure percentage, and they're bottom 5 in blitz percentage. That's a recipe for success all day long, which means the Colts are probably going to be playing a lot of 12 personnel. We're going to have tight ends on the field quite a bit. But it's what it is. So, yes, the Colts will probably want to rely a little bit heavily on Jonathan Taylor in the run game, but Seattle's defense is the second best team in the NFL against the run. They only allow 3.8 yards per carry. That you heard me correctly. Now the Colts only allow 3.9, right? So they're very close. They're both top 5 teams, but Seattle don't allow a lot of yards on the ground. So Phillip Rivers is going to have to throw this football, and he's going to have to dissect this defense. Now, in my opinion, the strength of this defense is their front 7. Okay. So if Rivers can have a quick time to throw, be able to get the ball out, I think he has a shot. But good Lord, let's not get him hit. Okay, he's 44 years old. He's not been in football shape. He's been out of football for 5 years. Dude's gonna get hit, and we're gonna be worried. Okay, everyone out there is gonna be worried. It's gonna be everybody wants to watch this game, at least the first quarter, to see how things are going. And if Phillip's doing well, they're gonna probably watch the rest of the game. But it's not like he don't know the offensive scheme and the playbook. He's been apparently talking about it all year. He uses the exact same playbook apparently with his high school team as what Steichen has been utilizing for the Colts. Now, obviously, a lot of the RPOs are going to be a little bit different. You're less likely that the quarterback's going to tuck the ball and run. But he's still going to have to find a way of protecting himself. And he's, obviously he's not running from anybody at his age. But he said so himself. He's not going to be running. He wasn't running from people 14 years ago either, right? You're just all about getting the football out, understanding the pressure concepts and feeling the pressure and getting rid of the football, kind of moving in the pocket. That is one thing I think Rivers does better than Daniel Jones is movement in the pocket, okay? Just step here, step there, kind of avoid the pressure, can kind of feel it around him and get rid of the ball. So that's something to look forward to. But no one knows what it's going to look like until it absolutely happens. I had this little hope in me that maybe, maybe. Herman's in here. Steichen's using a high school playbook? No. Apparently, it's Steichen's playbook, but Steichen's playbook is the same playbook he's been utilizing since he was the offensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers when he was the offensive coordinator for Phillip Rivers. That's why they're utilizing the same playbook. So, I mean, the familiarity is definitely there. So that was a good question, Herman. Appreciate you. But yeah, so hopefully that sends you a little bit at ease in that situation. Defensively, oh my goodness. The last time the Indianapolis Colts defense faced a number one wide receiver with a quarterback that is up for MVP was the Rams. And they're in the same situation in that where our pass defenders were all hurt and we were out there with practice squad guys. Do you remember what happened? Matt Stafford and his wide receiver tore our secondary apart. You don't think that JSN and Sam Darnold are looking to do the exact same thing? Because now they're, it's the similarities is disgusting right now. Absolutely disgusting. But hopefully something good could come out of it. Now, one thing the Indianapolis Colts can do is stop the run. Okay. They've actually been pretty good at that this year. Like I said, they're top 5 in the NFL yards per carry as a team, defensively. And their best running back, obviously, is Kenneth Walker, right? He's averaging, 4.5 yards a carry, somewhere around in there. Let me look at that, make sure I am correct on that, and I'm not just blowing it up. Yeah, Kenneth Walker's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's got 762 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, that's not Jonathan Taylor numbers, but it's respectable here in the NFL. He's on pace for 1,000 yards. But the Colts could legitimately make the Seattle offense one-dimensional if this front seven can really get after it. But it's really going to be heavily on Lou Anarumo to scheme up a lot of pressure and force Sam Darnold to get rid of that football and create turnovers. Because that is one thing Seattle has done quite a bit of, and that's turn the football over, whether it be fumbles, whether it be interceptions. And the Colts are the only team in the NFL to date this season that has at least one turnover in every single game. Now, the Colts offense, when they do get the ball back on turnovers, they need to find a way to actually turn those turnovers into points. And they have done that successfully as of late. But they're going to need to continue to do that because there's no telling, like I said, how this offense is going to look with Rivers. I mean, last time we saw that was, again, 5 years ago. But we'll see what happens. My favorite situation that a lot of Rivers at 44 years old probably does not have the deep ball that he used to have, right? And that Alec Pierce was probably out of the equation. But in this situation, I don't think so. Remember, Alec Pierce has really stepped up his abilities as a route runner and has done much better on in routes and deep ends and crossers and things of that nature that allows him to work more of the middle of the field. And Michael Pittman Jr. has been the short guy, right? As of late, he leads the NFL, if I remember correctly, or second. No, he's second in the NFL in yards per reception, like low wide, like air intended yards, right? Air intended yards for wide receivers. He's really about the short yardage guy. He's the guy who catches in traffic and then tries to make someone miss and then create separation afterwards. Good thing is Josh Downs will be playing in this game, so that's a big help. He will be back this week, so he'll have his full arsenal. Phillip will in this game. Now, that being said, there's no telling if it is. I think everyone thinks it's going to be Phillip Rivers. He hasn't been activated yet, but come on. I mean, who really thinks Riley Leonard is going to be the starter? He did take some starting snaps this week, but I think it was just, he needed to at least get some just in case Rivers didn't look the part, right? But apparently, I think Rivers is looking the part the way Syke is talking. I think he's going to end up starting. But Riley needs to be ready, because if Rivers takes that first hit and he hits the ground and he looks up and he's like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. Riley's got to step in. And there's no one here that would blame Rivers if he did that. But he takes a bunch of hits and somehow stays in and continues fighting. We're all going to be praying for him. All right. Because I'm telling you, when I was 44 years old, I didn't play football anymore. All right. Last time I played football was with some college buddies of mine. I was out there scrimmaging out at, I was 35. I got home and I was sore. I didn't want to move for 2 days. Okay. This dude's 44 doing it. Good luck to him. Speed in here says that Rivers just has to pretend Downs is T.Y. Hilton and he'll be okay. That's not a bad idea, right? If Rivers is a starter, he's going to be handing the ball off a lot and getting the ball out quickly. He's not throwing downfield or waiting for intermediate routes to develop. Kakarot says, I think he will. I don't know if he's going to throw it deep downfield a lot, but intermediate routes, yes. You can't just throw it short and hand the football off, because that just means that defenses can blitz you constantly. No matter what you have, you still have to be able to stretch the field one way or the other. Otherwise, he's going to be under more pressure than if he didn't. Okay? So you got to be able to activate the intermediate and the deep routes occasionally. You absolutely have to. Otherwise, he's going to be hit constantly, because Seattle's going to be like, screw it, we're going to send 6 guys every go and just play man coverage. You absolutely have to. But you are right. Jonathan Taylor and the tight ends will be working hard, not just in the passing game. They will be in there to help protect him as well. We'll see how the play calls roll. Look, Rivers can change calls. He can say, hey, instead of staying in full-on block there, Tyler, why don't you just slip out there on this next play? Sell your block and leak out there, and I'll hit you, and you can go for some yards. Or, everybody on the team knows what screens are. He could change the play himself. And at his age, no one's going to get mad at him for doing it. Okay? Let's throw some screens out there once in a while. That'd be great. All right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Before I get to my predictions, I just want to say thanks, everybody. All right. This past week was rough on me. I watched that game. I reacted live to it. It was really tough. I was so depressed during the game, especially when Daniel Jones went down. Little bit of hope with Phillip Rivers, but is it false hope? Maybe. But it should be fun to watch, at least for a game. But if he plays well, great. That's where the hope comes in. Please remember, everyone that's watching this right now, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. And if you're listening to this on an audio podcast after this is all said and done, please don't forget to rate and review. Now it's time for my predictions. Is there anyone out there that think the Colts are going to win this game? All right. Seattle is a juggernaut right now. All right. The Colts have 8 wins. They got to win 3 of their next 4 in order to get into playoffs, most likely. Seattle's 10-3. All right. And they're number 1 in the NFC West. All right. They're leading their division. I think this is going to be a tough road game for the Indianapolis Colts. I don't expect a win. I really don't. And as a matter of fact, it might be somewhat lopsided. I think JSN is going to go for a ton of yards. I think we hold the run game down pretty good. I think the Colts can move the ball, hopefully in the second half, maybe get a couple scores early on or late in the game to make this not as bad as it was, as what it was earlier in the game. But yeah, I could see JSN just lighting us up for damn near 200 yards receiving with the injuries we have in the secondary. I think Seattle will probably drop 28 to 30 points on us. And if the Colts could score 18, I'd be happy. Well, not happy, but that's my expectation of this game. 30 to 18. All right. Seattle wins. Am I hoping the Colts can win? Absolutely. Do I see a possibility that they can win? I mean, it'd take a lot for the Indianapolis Colts to go right for them to win this game. And let's be fair. It'll have to be like Phillip Rivers, like on comeback player of the year status, like walking out and becoming comeback player of the year in just 4 games in order for, that kind of return for us to have some kind of chance to win this game. And Jonathan Taylor's going to have to break some tackles. He's going to have to carry. He's got to relieve some pressure off the quarterback position. There's no doubt. And if the ball's thrown to you, you better catch it. At defense, if you have an opportunity to make a tackle, make the stinking tackle. Don't shoulder tackle in this game. Can the Colts win? Any given Sunday, right? Will the Colts win? I don't see it. I don't think they will. But I'm going to leave out hope, and hopefully it's a fun game to watch. Speed says 6 field goals? Maybe. We'll see what happens. There's other ways of getting 18 points, right? There's absolutely other ways of getting 18 points. You can do 2-point conversion, right? 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal, or other ways of doing it. Anyhow, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like this, please smash that like button. And until next time, I think I am done for this live show. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully we get back to doing this more often. Just got done talking with Donald Thomas. Hopefully he said that he'll be ready here pretty soon to come back and do a show with me. So that'll be nice as well. And until next time, as usual, go Colts.
Do you believe